So this little rant is going to be a response to a woman's videos. I'm going to have her tagged in the title of this video or the description. And she had a video titled, "What Has Happened to People," or "Why Have People Changed?" And I'm just adding in my 2 cents to this topic. So why is narcissism rewarded? And then she also brought up the red pill and, what's happened with men. And I'm a product of the red pill, essentially, where I don't give it all the credit, but I'm also somebody who has, officially departed from the red pill, although some of those core principles still stick out in my head. So this is going to be just a rant. I'm going to be a little chaotic. I have time before I have to go into work. So let's just go. In terms of the red pill, why do men hate women? I have one word for you: inconsistency. That's right. Women are inconsistent. They say that all they want is a man who will meet them halfway, but then they will happily spread their legs for a guy that doesn't even have their number saved. They're looking for a rich man to twerk on so that they can get access to his empire with nothing more than her body. They will happily twerk for a guy that doesn't even have a job, purposefully doesn't have a job, not someone who's struggling to find one. But they will look down on somebody that makes $35,000 to $39,000 a year, which, by the way, is above the national average of about $30,000 a year, which I think breaks down to $15 to $18 an hour. And that's all of America across the board. So the thing is that women, they look for the mark of the beast, so to speak. And that's the term I've heard. They want six figures or 7-figure net worth if a guy doesn't have a 6-figure job. They want 6'7", that's the new standard. They want 6-pack abs, and they want, I've heard 9 inches down below. I did not hear 6 inches on anywhere on YouTube. I've only heard, anywhere between 8 to 11 inches. Like sometimes they even want a whole foot long. And the problem with that is that it's impossible to be a psychic, which is their 5th requirement. It's impossible to organically change a guy's eggplant size, and it's organically impossible to change a man's height. And men have tried. There is a surgery where a man can spend $75,000 to $100,000 having a doctor break his legs and put some extensions into it that's about 4 to 6 inches, put him through rehab for a little bit, and then boom, he's taller. And that's going to cost you about $100,000. The problem here is that men want to have tried for the better part of 20 years of American history, going back to 2005, to improve themselves to the point where a woman would find them irresistibly attractive. And everything has failed because what women see is that we have validated them to such an extent that they have turned into narcissists themselves. It's not that men are innocent completely, but it's funny how a minority of men can make the majority of women feel so badly that they treat the guys poorly that don't deserve it. For the sake of this rant, I am proud to be in the bottom 84% of men who are not above 6 foot tall. And because of that, I've gotten a chance to see definitively how women treat men when it comes down to it. The thing is that men are done. The thing is that a lot of us, like for me personally, I am not done, but I'm not putting forth so much energy begging a woman to give me attention. And I realized that a lot of it was that I realized my biological need to mate with a woman. And I'm talking in every aspect of the word. I'm talking unification emotionally, spiritually, and physically, which a lot of it is expressed through physical actions of sex. And I'm looking for that unification because it's natural to me as a man. The problem now is that the minority of men have damaged the majority of women. A lot of women say that they will not share a man, but when they really start breaking it down and they look behind the curtain, they see that they've been sharing the same men, because dating is like a race where 84% of all men did not even get an invite through email, they got an invite through snail mail. When 80% of the race was over, Chad Tyrone, they got the invite through instantaneous email, and they got a chance to slow jog or even power walk their way through most of the track. And now the average guy, the bottom 84% of men, have to now do 20 times the work in a hope to catch up, only so that if they win, and that's a miracle if they win, the woman will just turn around and divorce them later and then take his money. And also his sense of identity, if there's children involved. Because a man usually has a sense of identity in being a husband and a father, because it's hard-coded into us as men to want a wife who loves us for who we are. And unfortunately, there's no such thing as loving us for who we are. Why? Because of this N-word here on the screen, narcissist. Where women have now become rewarded for treating men like dirt. So you're not really attracted to us, but you're more than happy to use us for our money. And that's what we see happening, where if we're not tall enough, if we don't have a perfect body, it's, forget how we feel. F that. We're just going to use them. We're going to lead them on purposefully to pay for our free meal. And the thing is, we're meant to just take it, because if we snap, all we're doing is validating euphemism, and where they say that men are violent and all that stuff, but women are the ones perpetuating this behavior that makes a man feel like he's on an emotional roller coaster. So we're just meant to take it. So if we just take it, we're wimps. If we don't take it, we're violent. We can't win. We simply can't win no matter what we do. The system has punished us. The birth rate now is well beneath replacement. And all I have to say personally to that is good. I'm glad America is suffering. I'm glad America's suffering. Why? Because the government is being forced to look at their laws, because men have been saying for the better part of a decade, minimum a decade, actually I think it's since 2012, that we want the system to change. And the only way it will change is when we give the government a non-violent existential threat called not having babies. And that's an existential threat to everybody, which, again, we go back to the solution of get off of social media if you're being brainwashed by social media. Personally, me, I have this channel and I have a Twitch channel. That's it. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have TikTok. TikTok is where your cognition abilities go to die, because your attention span has been melted down to seconds, to a few seconds. I think that Vine was the beginning of the end. TikTok, all it did was make it worse. TikTok is the worst network on the planet, period. Where now you have what could be future wives who are already sexualizing themselves between the ages of, 10 to 15 years old, from what I've heard. And it's become insane. It's insanity that these children are able to get on. And they're neurologically children. You're neurologically an adolescent until you're at the youngest 25 years old, at the oldest 34 years old. And, so where your head finally clicks into place as an adult and you start making better decisions. So these young girls are sexualizing themselves and learning how to do so at young ages. And men are like, I don't want any of this. I don't consent to any of this. But again, and again, and again, men have been told to shut up. I actually had this thought yesterday of, what if all men had the ability to disappear for a day? We go to some alternate dimension where we leave this entire society and existing infrastructure for women. What would happen to society if we just abandoned everything? Even in that scenario, women would still find a way of making it our fault. Let's say we fix things up and we still and then we disappeared. Let's make everything pristine, brand new parts, all that stuff. And how would society react then? If we made every firefighter, police officer, EMT person women, if we made every single thing in the world a woman, what would happen to society at that point? What if we got rid of social media? What if we got rid of what if we just got rid of all this stuff that rewards narcissism? What if we did that? See, the thing is that the men say society would crumble in under 3 days. Personally, me, I would give it a week. The thing is that we were taught as men to shut our mouths, let ourselves be used, don't talk back, but then we get mocked for not being leaders. Women say, I want a leader, but you let me walk all over you. And it's like, well, I could dominate you physically, but then you would just call the police. So we are left with impossibilities, and we're exhausted from these impossibilities. Be a leader, but don't be overbearing. Find ways of naturally bettering yourself. And the only thing that men can do to better themselves organically is focus on what can be changed. Namely, they have to focus on their fitness and their finances. Because if a man goes on a self-improvement journey and he has it in the back of his mind, in his unconscious mind, that he knows he wants to get with a woman. I know deep down inside I want a woman. I'll say it flat out. I want me a woman. I want a woman that actually cares about me, not just my wallet. That's the dream. A woman that is for real down for me, that can get on code and see me as a man worth following. I will admit that to myself because it's freeing to do so. The red pill is a trap. It's a neurological trap, and it's an endless loop of the same talking points over and over and over again. And let's just summarize it. Women's expectations are unfair. Your unconscious expectations are unfair. You expect me to be able to change my height, my schlong size, supercharge my metabolism, etc., etc. But the instant I ask you to get in the gym with me, you cry foul play. So I ask you, hey, I'm asking you to help me, because that's what a wife does. A wife is a wife before she gets the ring. And for the record, much women will not know that there is no state marriage license in the Bible, just for the record. So therefore, I'm never signing one. And people say, well, I'm not going to join a man if I can't get his money. It's like, well, a man can still leave you something in his will if you're a good wife. People always forget about the will. It's as simple as writing you into it. And then it would be, in most cases, legally executable. So the thing is that there are ways of making sure that good wives are included. The thing is, it just involves kicking out the family courts, and women don't want to do that. So men just go, you know what? I just won't get married at all. Why change a good thing? I'm just going to keep on, having sex with this woman. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Where if a woman leaves me, at least I get to keep my money, because unlike women, money never lets me down. And that's pretty much what men are thinking, wrapped up in a nutshell. And when it comes down to MGTOW, red pill, all that stuff, what I hate in women is their inconsistency. You want to have a top-notch guy, you will be with a guy that doesn't have your number saved, a guy that doesn't care about you. You mock the guy that does care about you. You let the guy that doesn't care about you use you for your body, but then you project that onto the better guy, the kind guy, who actually cared about you. You say to the kind guy that he's sexist and that, he values you only for your body, but then you spread your legs for the guy who that only cares about you for your body. Make it make sense. And guys are tired, because the thing is that we've given this kind of issue all sorts of attention for the better part of 13 years on the internet. And we're tired because women have only gotten worse. Why do I say women? Why? Because most guys didn't do this. Remember? 84% of guys are underneath 6 foot tall, and most guys don't even get a chance with a woman, myself included. So the thing is, most of us don't even get a chance because we're not tall enough. So we try to make sense of that. And we got tired of fighting over and over and over and over again to try to get women to see that it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. But the thing is, they keep choosing to put men through confusion. We don't even have an opportunity. And we're sick of it. So if we're not good enough for most women because we're not tall enough, you know, something that's useless in 2025, then so be it. We will continue to let society rot. And personally, me, I'm looking forward to getting a vasectomy. I'm looking forward to cutting off the government from being able to enslave me using child support. Because to me, that's all children are at this point, is a liability. I've already lost faith in the state marriage license because it's consistently unfair. And I say that changing the laws now is too little too late. It's too late to say, okay, paternity testing upon the birth of the child. No, because there's judges that don't obey the Constitution now, so forget it. The only thing I can do to keep myself safe is make my money, keep myself from signing a state marriage license, and never have children. Because then you become ultimately almost ungovernable. Get your assets, get your gold, get your silver, go offline, get a house somewhere, make sure everything's paid off, no credit cards, no nothing. Why? Because the system is an abundant failure. So going back to this woman, this is how we see the world now. Are we justified in seeing it as such? I think so. Until women get off social media, stop inflating their self-worth to unimaginable levels, get in the gym, eat healthy, unplug their Wi-Fi at night, making sure they can get some sufficient sleep, get away from the makeup industry, get away from fashion. Until you do all that and start realizing the kind of person you really are, nothing's ever going to work. And this society will continue to be melted down into nothing. We're completely done. It's completely over, and there is no hope. The choice belongs to women because it's women who let men inside of them to begin with. They're the ones that grant access to their bodies. And if we break it down to its most common, if we break it down to its most basic form, men like to do more than they like to talk. I'd rather show you I love you by means of making love to you as opposed to me just writing you a poem or something. Poems to me are worthless. I mean, long term, they're worthless. I'd rather give you the work. But see, now I'm a pervert for saying that because I'm not 6 foot tall. I'm a pervert for saying that because I wasn't genetically gifted. So it doesn't matter how much I work on myself through my fitness. It doesn't matter how much I try to save money and invest right. None of that matters because a woman will only use me anyway. So free-flowing talks, this is my little side rant on why people are the way they are. Because we were taught that we can do the right thing and still get punished. But that said and done, have a good day.